Hey everybody, hope you're having a nice day so far. I want to talk a little bit about your document today regarding The Pedestrian by Ray Bradbury. As you probably already know, the focus today and for a majority of this unit is theme, narrative, short story, etc. And a lot of that's going to involve character, setting, and those will be your primary focuses today are character and setting. Having a solid understanding of the character and the setting within a story is going to help you determine theme, right? And as it says here, the theme is that universal idea, the lesson, the message of the work. Essentially, it's what the author wants you to take away from their work, okay? And like I said in the introduction to this lesson, that goes for anything, right? It's not just literature. It could be for television. It could be for music. It could be for anything in which someone is creating, right? A piece of art. There's very often a theme or a message. People don't just create art or literature or movies for the sake of it, right? They do it to share something, to express something, okay? And very often they do that through the characters that they create and the setting that they provide for the story. Okay. So, what you're going to do today is you're going to read through The Pedestrian, very short, not long at all. It should take maybe 10 minutes to read through. I also have an audio version provided for you if you would like to listen instead. But as you listen or read, you're going to take notes about the character. There's really only, well, two characters in the story, but you're focusing in on our main character, Leonard Mead. And you'll also focus in on the setting, which I think you guys already know the setting is the environment of the story, the time period of the story, right? Time and place, essentially. So let's talk a little bit about character, right? The notes you take for character are a little more specific because I want you to think about characterization, right? And this is the ways in which the author gets you to know the character, okay? And they do it through quite a few different avenues. And we're going to use this STEAL acronym, STEAL, okay, as you take notes. All right. And the STEAL acronym is going to assist you in looking at characterization throughout this story and throughout any story that you read. Okay. So I do mention here that on the next page, you'll see a table that assists you in understanding the STEAL acronym a little bit better. All right. So the S in STEAL is the speech of the character, right? And that's the first thing I want you to think about when you're taking notes. What does the character say? How does the character speak? It's important to think about that. Think about it in the way of, if you're just meeting somebody for the first time, um, your first impression often comes with the things that they say, right? How they talk to you. Okay. Now, in this story, we're not going to get much speech from Leonard Mead until he interacts with the police officer towards the end. You'll focus in a little more on his thoughts, which is the T of the STEAL acronym. Okay, what is revealed about our character through their private thoughts and their feelings? Right? This is, to me, one of the most important parts of characterization, right? Because think about it this way. If anybody had an insight into your private personal thoughts, they'd learn a lot about you, right? So that's something you want to think about. The E in STEAL is the effect on others, right? So this is how other people respond or react to the main character. So if somebody walks into a room that you don't know, and the people in the room all kind of look at them with like a dirty look, or all the people in the room kind of like pull back a little bit, or everybody smiles when they come into the room, right? The way people react to a character tells you something about that character, right? What is the effect this character has on other people? And once again, this is not going to be as important in this short story because there aren't many characters, but the interaction between Leonard Mead and the police officer can reveal something for sure. Actions, right? Some say that actions speak louder than words. What does the character do? How do they behave? This can certainly tell us something about a character. Okay, so I want you to take this into consideration as well as you read. How is Leonard Mead acting? What are the things he does? And last, looks. Probably the least important one, but still relevant, right? What do they look like? How do they dress? Okay, if they're wearing a police uniform, right, that tells you something about this character, most likely. Okay, so you want to think about physical looks, even though typically that's not the best determiner of character, right? But we're human beings. It's one of the first things we do when we see somebody is what do they look like? Okay? So these are all the things you want to take note of. I have spaces for you to do so here: speech, thought, effect on others, actions, looks. So you can just, under the speech, you can say, Leonard Mead speaks about television programs, however you want to write it out is up to you. All right, in the second box, you're focusing in on setting, okay? You're going to use this box to take notes about the setting of the story, the environment. You can make some guesses as to maybe what time period this is, etc. That being said, you won't have probably as many notes here, but I want you to think about anything about the setting that you found to be significant or potentially important to the story or the theme. Remember that the theme is kind of the focus here. That's what we're trying to figure out through these things. But I don't want you to not take a note because you don't think it connects to the theme. Any notes you can think of regarding character and setting, I want you to put down here. You're going to be graded kind of on your effort in your note taking today. Okay. And then tomorrow we'll focus on the theme that we were able to pull out of this story based on what we focused on today. If you guys do have any questions about this document or about the pedestrian or anything at all, I know it's like the first week of school basically, let me know. You can G-chat me or email me. All right, guys, do your best, enjoy the story, take some notes.